to the show, folks. I hope your Monday is kicking off your week in grand style. Anyway, you're right where you need to be now because you've got the American Adversaries Drive Time Prime Time Show tuned in on FM 105.5 or AM 660 The Answer as we're coming to you live from the Mercury Free Broadcasting Studios. And don't forget, for the very best in Mercury Free dental care, give my dentist, Dr. James E. Hardy, a call at 407-678-3399. He will take care of your choppers, and he'll do it in style. You won't even know what's happening. They are so gentle over there. All right, well, we try to be gentle around here. Doesn't always work out that way, but we give it the effort. I am Christopher Hart, and that ho-ho-ho you just heard was from our very own Aubrey Kahn, Firm Foundation Home Inspections, and now also of the Ask the Expert show, live Saturdays at 1 o'clock. Good to see you there, Aubrey.
Likewise, Chris. I'm here for one reason and one reason only.
And?
To stop you having an aneurysm.
You may can stop me from doing that, but you can't stop me from having a good old time. And you folks can see it as I blow a fuse here, or blow a hose, as it were, on YouTube. Tell them how there, Lucas General, Lucas Paris.
Go to youtube.com, type in either Adversaries TV and look for our videos that way, or just simply type in Pariscope and see which one is the recent one there. Click on that, ready to go.
He's got that Periscope up and running right now. Jeff Sinnis is on the bridge once again.
How you doing?
There he's doing until Nicholas Cicero gets back. And, of course, you can be a part of the show at your convenience. Just give us a call anytime in the next 2 hours here at 407-774-8255. And I hope you caught last night's show. But, of course, the great thing about the Pariscope and, of course, our archive is that you can go back and you can see it now and hear it as many times as you like. And it was a pretty good show last night.
Bad fun.
Yeah, old Lucas and I held down the studio here together, and we revived for the second season now. We started the Dumb and Feckless series again.
I can't wait for the next installment, honestly. That's good listening right there.
And we're going to actually have the script writer for the Dumb and Feckless series, Edward Klein, on Wednesday. He, of course, is the famous best-selling author, started writing books way back. I think his first book was about Jackie Onassis. He's written a number of biographies, and he's written some great books about Hillary Clinton and the Clintons, and of course he wrote the book Blood Feud, the Obamas versus the Clintons, which is where we got our material for our first year of our Dumb and Feckless series, which we recapped last night. We started off the second season with a recap, if you will, of the first season, which I believe set up the second season quite nicely. And the script for the second season, of course, will come from Ed Klein's brand new book, Unlikable, The Hillary Clinton Problem.
Why is it a problem?
It's going to be rich. It's rich stuff, I'll tell you that. But anyway, he is going to be on the show with us Wednesday in the 6 o'clock hour, so you're going to want to make sure you tune in for that. All right, it is Monday, so that means, of course, we will be having Dave Katzman, our man in Jerusalem, coming to us live from Jerusalem tonight. And the unrest there is growing. And so he'll be filling us in on that. We'll also be talking about Iran's new EMAD, which is a new missile that they have.
Don't like the payload on that sucker.
No, it goes farther and more accurately, evidently, than what they've had before. We'll also be talking to Abe about Ben Carson's remarks, and I want to get his take on that. And, of course, we got some politics that we'll be talking about. The Killer Bee himself, being Brian Blair, is scheduled to join us. If he can get away, he will be joining us tonight. And then, of course, as I said, you can join us at any time. And, of course, you heard me refer to General Paris over here by the title General.
General Pariscope, yeah.
And tell them why we now refer to you as General, please.
You can join up at the American Adversaries Army. That's what I did.
That's right. You can all join. We'd appreciate it. If you would, go to our website, AmericanAdversariesRadio.com, and you can enlist right there. You can come in as an enlistee. You can come in as an officer. Or like Lucas, you can come in as a full-blown general. And so please take that into consideration. And we would certainly welcome you into the Army. And the bigger the Army gets, the more we can do as pertaining to this show. Okay, today is Columbus Day, and there
God it is.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God it is. Of course, we now know that Columbus didn't discover, quote unquote, America. That there's plenty of evidence that the Norse tribes came over here many centuries prior to Christopher Columbus.
The Ferguson, if I remember correctly, might have actually found these shores.
Correct. And then there's, saw on a History Channel show a few years ago that there's evidence that Egyptians were trading with South America. That they had somehow figured out how to get across the Atlantic Ocean and back, because evidently in some of those mummies, guess what they have found?
Corn.
Cocaine, which is not indigenous to Africa. It's indigenous, the coca leaf is indigenous to South America. Cocaine, yeah, I guess they were having some,
so they were cocainians.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but they was got some blowing the old nose going on over there. The pharaohs had it going, buddy. They had their own Miami Vice, I guess, but believe it or not. And so, you know, the Columbus was not the first to come here. And which brings me to another point. Columbus is being blamed today. There are many cities in the country, I believe Montana, as a matter of fact, a couple of decades ago voted that Columbus Day would be Indigenous American Day. And I don't have a problem if they want their own day. Give them their own day. That's fine. But here's the reality of the situation. By the time Columbus got here, the Americas were in decline. The civilizations were mere shadows of what they had been. As a matter of fact, there was the tribe, what were they, the Anasazi, who just suddenly disappeared before Columbus. Maybe they knew he was coming and they packed up and left. I don't know. But
hard to tell.
Yeah, but the archaeological evidence actually shows that the Americas were at their peak long before Columbus ever got here, and were in fact in decline. And then of course they get over here and they find in South America they are practicing human sacrifice. Now I guess Europeans coming here, ending the practice of human sacrifice in that sense, we could say maybe it had been good, but maybe the way they went about it wasn't all that great. But what I'm trying to say here is that human beings are by nature curious. And if you're not going forward, if you're not reaching outward, you're collapsing inward. And for some reason, the Americas had already begun the process of collapsing inward, whereas the Europeans had begun the process in earnest of moving outwards. And by the way, do you know why Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492 in the first place?
Good.
In a sense, yes.
Was he looking for India?
They were looking for new trade routes. Now, the operative word here is new. Why were they looking for new trade routes? Why weren't the old trade routes just as good as they had been for centuries?
Because of the Muslims.
Because of the Muslims. Give that man a cigar. That's right. The Muslims had taken over those regions of the Middle East where, you know, Marco Polo and them guys used to go back and forth, right? And so they couldn't go back and forth anymore without paying tribute or having to deal with getting heads whacked off or something like that.
Or both.
Yeah, you know, those little nuances that kind of mess up your delivery schedule. Yes, it makes it a little harder to get the packages there on time, you know.
Geopolitical issues even a couple hundred years ago. No go.
Back then, right. UPS only had ground.
Yeah.
That's right.
A little bit of water, yeah.
So if you really want to, and this is what's ironic, because yesterday in Washington, D.C., they had this Justice or Else march, all right? And by the way, to the organizers and to the speakers, if you don't want to be asked, what do you mean by else? don't name your march the Justice or Else March, right?
It's based off the Million Man March.
I know, but anyway, to get back to it, it was basically what are you eating over there? Your mic is hot, by the way.
Oh.
There you go. That's better. The focus yesterday was black liberation via black Islam. They call it Black Muslim, the Nation of Islam, but it's really black version of Islam, if you would, the hood's version of Islam. And Calypso Louis, as El Rush Fuzzbo likes to call him, because he used to be a calypso musician. Calypso Louis was there. He spoke for a couple of hours. The often wrong Reverend Wright was there, as were a bunch of much lesser known speakers, activists, agitators. Right. And in one sense, it shows you what's great with America. I mean, that they can get out there on the mall in the Capitol and spew their hate. That's the freedom of speech. That's what we guarantee people. And of course, I'm pretty sure the FBI had some video cameras going, so they got all their faces.
And they got
their facial ID going with them right now. You just might want to think about that. Anyways, the theme was in praise of Allah. Right? And Allah be great, and Allah this, and Allah that. Well, your Mr. Allah and your Mr. Mohammed are responsible for Columbus coming here and trampling over all y'all's rights and enslaving all y'all. So don't blame one man. Blame one religion. We'll be right back.